I'm a huge jerk. And the reason, well, one of many reasons why I'm a huge jerk has to do with that tank right there behind me. Okay, so I have to be completely honest with you here. I have spent the better part of 2 days trying to put a video together about this tank right here, and I have hated every single attempt that I've made to make this video. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna turn the camera on. You and I are gonna have a conversation about this tank right here, and we're gonna see what happens. It's not something I typically thrive doing, but we're gonna see if it works out this time. So this tank behind me here, this gorgeous piece of aquatic equipment, is a Joule Rio 450. This was sent to me months ago. And when I say months ago, I mean like before Thanksgiving. And I'm just now finally making a video about it. Why? Well, I have several reasons for that. For one, I'm a big fat jerk. And for two, when I was approached by the president of CJ USA about these tanks and he offered to send me one, I didn't even know at the time that when I received the tank, I was going to be in the middle of one of the biggest projects I've ever done, which is building the fish room out in the barn. If I had known, I probably would have said, hey, hold off on that for a bit because I'm going to be pretty consumed by building this fish room. And, you know, it's going to take me a long time to be able to get that video done. But we hadn't even come up with the idea yet of doing the fish room. So when he's asked if we wanted to do that, I was like, duh, of course. Yeah, let's do it. But that's not all. When we got the tank in and Lisa and I were trying to decide on where we were going to put it, we decided to put it in here. And we decided that we were going to put the tank right here. But there's a problem with that. The first problem was we had a fireplace mantle here, which is actually just completely fake. It was a faux mantle that was here. I don't even know why it was there. It was kind of silly. This wall here on the opposite side of that is the original fireplace for this house, and one of the original fireplaces. On the other side of that fireplace is a working fireplace, and I don't know why they wouldn't have popped it through to heat this room. I don't know. I don't know what was going on in people's minds in 1860 when they built this addition onto the house, but they put a fake fireplace mantle there, which isn't a big deal. But where it becomes a big deal is when you put an aquarium in front of it that's almost 120 gallons. It ended up putting the aquarium so far out into this room that it was just too much. This isn't a huge room. It's like 10 by 12. And so to have so much of the space occupied by that tank, it was too much for me. It was taking up too much of the room. I don't know how else to say it. So I made a very controversial decision. People who are historic home purists or possibly the North Carolina Preservation Society is going to have a huge problem with me doing this. But what I did was I decided to remove the shelf that is part of that mantle. I've got footage of doing that I'll show you. I had to do that so that I could push the tank up against the wall and it wouldn't be taking up so much room in this small room. But the problems don't stop there. Once the tank was here and it was in place, we realized the next problem. And I didn't realize the next problem until this Henry Cavill Superman right here. Hopefully you can see him. This was a Christmas gift from Lisa for me in 2024. It was 2024. This Henry Cavill Justice League Hot Toys 1/6 scale Superman, one of my prized possessions. I love this guy. So I took him and I put him on top of the tank when we first put it in here. And he was just standing there so gloriously because, listen, everything looks better with Henry Cavill on it, right? So he's there. Tank is sitting here. It's empty. I haven't put any water in it yet. And every single time I would walk through this room, this old 1860s room that has rather bouncy floors, Henry's head would do this. Well, his whole body would. It's not like he's a bobblehead. But Henry would sway back and forth a little bit. And that terrified me. I thought, you know what? If Henry's moving back and forth like that, just from me, I'm 220 pounds. When I walk through the room, if he's wobbling like that, what's going to happen if there's a full 120-gallon aquarium? That's going to be an absolute nightmare. So what the hell am I going to do? I couldn't figure out what I was going to do. I considered putting the tank on this wall, but it's too big, wouldn't fit there. I started entertaining possibly putting it on that wall there. Didn't really like that idea. So what am I going to do? But then it just occurred to me, well, the two bookcases that I had over there, which were blocking that door, which is okay because we have another door to get into this office through the bathroom. So I go through the bathroom to get into here. It's no big deal. That door's been blocked since we moved into here. It's never been a door that I've used, and these bookcases used to block it. I took measurements to see if the tank could fit in here, and it's just a hair. Look, my finger, I can't fit my finger completely between the tank and the wall. It's almost like the tank was made to go into this spot. It could not fit more perfectly. And on the other side there, it's basically the same thing. Like I can a little bit. I can barely fit my finger back there. I mean, it is very, very tight. But once I saw that it could fit, I said, oh, that's a no-brainer then. I'm gonna move the bookcases to here, move all of my toys and all of my dolls and all of my stuff over to here, and then we'll put the tank in there and it'll be perfect. And it took me so long just to figure that out. We entertained just not even putting the tank in this room at all because, you know, it just wasn't going to work out. But with there being a door there and there being an exterior wall and then also the wall that joins up with the rest of the house, that is a very structurally sound area of the room right there. And so it's perfect for the tank. If you're going to have a 120 gallon, 118, but 120 gallon aquarium in an old room like this, that's the perfect spot for it. So that's how it all worked out. Once I had that problem solved, then it was go time. But I got to talk to you a little bit about that whole process because I didn't figure any of this stuff out. I didn't know that Henry was going to be wobbling on top of that tank until I got it in place, and I couldn't get it in place until I put the stand together. This stand, I put it together right here where I'm standing right now, went together like a breeze. It's very, very simple. Jules sends along very nice instructions that are super easy. The biggest idiot on the planet, like me, can put these stands together. It's not a big deal at all. Once I had that together and had the tank in its final resting place here, I did have to do quite a bit of shimming on that stand because it's not the stand's fault, it's the floor's fault. I live on a very, very old property. This is an extremely old house in North Carolina. There ain't a flat spot on any of the 4 acres that I have, not in the house, not outside. Ain't nothing straight or flat or level. Everything's crooked, everything's bent, whatever. I love it. I'm not complaining about it. I had to do quite a bit of shimming down there to get everything all leveled off. And it's still not absolutely perfectly level, but it's level enough. The doors operate perfectly. There's 3 doors going across the bottom of that stand, and they're perfect for this room. I have that little tiny closet in here, and other than that, I have no storage. And I do a lot of stuff in this room. I've got my 3D printer. I do all of my painting. I've got my dartboard. You're probably getting motion sickness. I've got my 2 chihuahuas. I've got a lot in this room, and I need all the storage I can get. So having the 3 doors down there for storage is really, really good. Not only for storing the aquarium stuff, like, you know, test kits which I actually have up on the, whatever, it doesn't matter, because it's a brand new tank. I have a test kit in here and I'm testing it out. It's going to be nice to be able to put everything down into that stand. I mean, that's nothing special. Pretty much all aquarium stands are going to have storage down there, but it's really, really nice in this office because I need all the storage I can get. Okay, I want to talk about other details with this tank, but I'm going to have to ask you for a favor before I do that. Could you do me the favor of pretending that you don't see any fish in here? Can you just act like they're not there for me, please? Because I'm going to be talking about those next week. That's going to be next week's video. I had a very special thing happen here that absolutely blew my mind. I was completely oblivious to this. I had no clue it was going to happen, but I had a couple of friends coordinate with my wife sending me a bunch of fish. And again, I had no clue that this was going to happen. I just, there was a couple of boxes on my porch one day and I was like, what are those? Lisa filmed the whole thing. It was really, really cool. Whips World and Rod and Kevin from Predatory Fins sent me a couple of boxes of fish, and it was mind-boggling. So that's going to be next week's video. It was a really, really cool thing. So for now, though, let's just pretend those fish aren't in there, okay? So we can have a conversation about everything else, and we don't see the fish, because then it won't be a surprise for next week. But anyway, there's a lot of really cool things to talk about when it comes to this tank. And the first thing is the filtration. Now, this is interesting because it's a huge internal canister filter. If you imagine the Shark Pro times like 10, that's what we've got going on here. It's all internal, which I happen to like. I don't know if it's going to work long term in this tank, because I don't know if you're ignoring what I just asked you to do and you see the fish and you know the sizes that they get. The filtration might not be able to keep up with them when they get to be their full size, particularly the one that's under the filter that you don't see it. Remember, you don't know that it's there, but there's a fish underneath that filter that can get like 4 feet. So he's not going to stay in this tank for very long. But anyway, listen, that filter was going to be perfectly fine for what I had planned in this tank, which was going to be a heavily planted green tiger barb tank. That's what I was going to do in here. But then Whips World and Rod and Kevin had to throw me a curveball, and we had to change the plans, which I'm happy to do. I'm not complaining about that at all. And because of that, I don't know if that filter is going to keep up. But I tell you what, we're going to find out. We're going to see if it's going to hold up. It's a really big filter with a big pump on it and a ton of media. The whole thing is a stack of media in there. So I think it should hold up to the demand of this tank as we move on. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep you posted on that. But the cool thing is, it is internal, which means it is dead nuts silent. Now, I've got an air conditioner running in this room. I ain't complaining about that, trust me. This room always stays really hot. If you haven't seen the sunlight coming in from the window, this room is basically beaten by the sun. And so I have to run a separate air conditioner in here. So that's kind of loud. But the tank's not loud, and I hate a loud tank. The tank's not loud at all because the filter is internal. I love that. It's not loud even in the slightest bit. It makes no noise at all, which is my favorite kind of tank to have. So that's great. But it's also big enough. It has a compartment in the back to house the heater in there, which is amazing. I love that. So in that filter box there is all of that media and the heater, which is great. I absolutely love it. You want to know what else I love about this tank? It's the little things, the little simple things that make me happy. The lids. Now, if you're wondering, I'm trying to keep this from falling off. Got a little feeder hole here, which is awesome. And the fish that I have in there, they're not going to jump out or anything. So I don't put that all the way down between feedings. So that's why I was trying to hold that on there. But anyway, it's one lid that goes all the way across, and the light is under the lid. Is that crazy? That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen anybody do that before. I think that is awesome. It keeps everything nice and smooth up here for storage. Because again, I need storage, and I also need places to store all of my dolls. I just finished this flash. I'm really proud of him. But anyway, listen. I can put anything I want up here, including a photo of my mom and a photo of my dad. And Tom Marvolo Riddle has to be up here. A little Dementor is going to be up here. They're not going to be up here very long because I don't want him next to the water, even though he's the Dark Lord and he can probably handle it. I don't want him close to all of that water. I'm going to end up building some shelves here, and Tom will go up there along with the Dementor, and probably, well, a lot of stuff is going to end up going. I'm adding to the collection every single day. So, but I love the fact that I can put stuff up there and it just fits nicely. I don't have the light up there. I don't have anything up there. It's just a nice, smooth surface. Again, it's the little things that make me so happy. And the fact that they cut out a little feeding hole here, you gotta love that. So it's a big tank. It has a big filter in it. It's got all the media in that filter. The heater is not built in to the filter, but it's placed inside of the filter. So it's one of those things, if the heater breaks, then I don't have to replace everything. I can just pull the heater out and put a new one in. Put a contactless, CJ contactless in there or something like that. It's no big deal, it's fine. The light is built into the lid and it's underneath everything. That's very, very cool. And you're probably wondering, like, daggone John, there's a lot of water down there. Is the light okay? Yeah, of course it is. It's made to go into that situation. So there's not going to be an issue with the water there. I love that. I've never seen that done before, where the light is actually like in the built-in canopy of the tank. I think that is fantastic. I love that. This tank, the whole setup screams high end. It's like at Apple level. You know what I mean? I'm a big Apple fan. If you've been snooping in the background and see all of my Apple stuff, I'm an Apple fanboy. And this is almost like if Apple were to build an aquarium, that's what it would be like. The stand is fantastic. The tank itself is big. The glass is thick. It's gorgeous. It looks beautiful. What more should I say about it? I mean, it is fantastic. Now, I'm going to warn you, these tanks are not cheap. They're not bargain basement, run-of-the-mill budget aquariums. These are high-end aquariums. They have them in every single size you've ever imagined, from a 10-gallon on its own stand all the way up to this. This is the biggest. This is the Rio 450, which works out for us silly Americans to be, it's like 118 something gallons. That's the biggest one that they have. But they've got different colors. They've got all different kinds of stuff. It is awesome. Where do you go to buy these tanks? You go to your local fish store. That's where you go. Not everybody has them yet. This is a partnership with CJ. Yes, that CJ. And so any aquarium store, any local fish store that carries CJ, maybe they have CJ pumps, they have Shark Pros, they have the heaters, stuff like that, the new Mega Filtra, Aqua Filtra. If they have that, I promise you, they have been told about these tanks. CJ has contacted them and said, hey, do you want to carry these tanks? So even if they don't have them in the store, they might be able to get them for you. And so go to your local fish store and ask them. There might be some online retailers. In fact, we've considered becoming one, and we may in the future. I don't know. We gotta do the whole fish thing, and then we'll figure all of that out. But just go to your local fish store and do it that way. We need to support our local fish stores. And if you're in the Virginia Beach area, my good friend Mark from Aquariums Unlimited, Mark and Donnie, they have the best aquarium store you've ever seen. Aquariums Unlimited, I know they have them. I don't know if they have a 450 in there, but they have a bunch of these jewel aquariums in there that are ready to, you can just buy them and take them home. You don't have to order them unless you want something that they don't have. But last time I was up there, they had like 6 or 7 different jewel tanks up there, different colors, different sizes, all of that. So yeah, if you're in the Virginia Beach area or within a couple hours, do yourself a favor, go to them, and they can either sell you one right there or they can order you exactly what you want. So I got to tell you, like I said, I've said it several times, it bothers me to my soul that it's taken me so long to make this video here. Hopefully you understand what the holdup has been. And I'm sorry to be this way, but more importantly, hopefully CJ and Jewel understand that I've been a little occupied. I've been a little overwhelmed with my life for the last several months, and that's why it's taken me so long to do this. But I'm really upset about that, not only because I let them down, but also because look how awesome this thing is, and I've spent months not having it set up in my office. Daggone it. I sit right here, I find myself staring into that tank all the time. And these fish have only been in there for like 3 or 4 days. It's been absolutely amazing. I'm so glad to have an aquarium near me again, not on the other side of the property in the fish house. I'm not complaining about that. Trust me, that is a blessing. But it's nice to be able to have one so close, even though the fish that are in there are total jerks and chasing each other around all the time. Anyway, I love it. I love the tank. I love the fish that are in it. This is the start of something very, very cool. We have a very long-term plan for these fish that as of 3 or 4 days ago, we did not have because we didn't know we were getting these fish. It's going to be exciting. Lots of really cool things to look forward to down the road. So anyway, I've run my mouth long enough. I'm so glad to finally have this video done. I've been struggling to get it done over the course of the last 2 days, but here we are. We got the jewel tank. It is set up. It looks fantastic, nestled perfectly in the corner there with Tom Riddle on top. I call him Tom Riddle. You might call him the Dark Lord. You might call him he who should not be named, or whatever they called him. Or you might just call him what normal people would call him and call him Voldemort. He looks fantastic up there. He's going to stay there, but up on a shelf, because he's Voldemort. He rules over the place. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for hanging in there with me for so long. This has been a lot of fun. Really excited about this tank, and I might even do some live streams in here and have that behind me. That'd be pretty cool too. We'll have to see. Hey, did you know I have a website? It's called KGTropicals.com. We sell fish stuff. It's really cool. Bye.